In the frozen wilderness of the Ural Mountains, a group of young hikers set out on what should have been a routine expedition. Days later, their camp was discovered abandoned, their tent slashed open from the inside, and their bodies scattered across the snow under strange and terrifying circumstances. Their footprints, left in the ice, suggested they fled in panic, some without shoes or proper clothing, into the deadly cold. Investigators searched for answers, but each discovery only deepened the mystery. Decades have passed, yet the Dyatlov Pass Incident remains one of history's darkest and most puzzling enigmas.
The group of 9 hikers, led by Igor Dyatlov, were students and graduates from the Ural Polytechnic Institute. They were skilled, experienced, and united by their passion for adventure. What started as a well-planned expedition into the snow-bound wilderness was meant to test their endurance and skill, not their fate.
The Ural Mountains in winter were unforgiving. Temperatures plummeted below freezing. Winds howled across open plains, and snow piled endlessly on the slopes. Yet, for these young adventurers, such conditions were not unusual. They welcomed the challenge as part of their journey.
At first, everything seemed normal. Their journals and photographs captured laughter, routine campfires, and songs shared on cold nights. There was no sign of fear, no indication that their path would lead them into one of history's most enduring mysteries. As they pressed deeper into the wilderness, weather conditions worsened. A powerful snowstorm veiled the landscape, forcing them to adjust their route. Visibility dropped, progress slowed, and the group eventually set camp on an exposed slope of Kolek Siakal, the Mountain of the Dead.
Pitching their tent on the barren slope was unusual, leaving them exposed to brutal winds. Some believe they intended to train themselves in harsh conditions. Others think they were forced by the weather. Whatever the reason, it was here that their fate was sealed.
Something happened that night, something violent enough to rip the hikers from their shelter. Their tent was later found cut open from within, as if they had slashed their way out in desperate panic. In the darkness and freezing cold, they ran half-dressed into the snow. Weeks later, rescuers discovered the first bodies near the edge of a forest. 2 hikers lay by the remains of a small fire, barefoot, wearing only their underclothes. The scene suggested desperation, a futile attempt to survive the merciless cold. Nearby, the bodies of Dyatlov and 2 others were found scattered in the snow, facing the direction of the tent, as if they had tried to crawl back but never made it. Their frozen forms painted a picture of agony and struggle. The final 4 were discovered months later in a ravine, partially buried beneath snow. Their injuries were unlike anything the rescuers had expected. Shattered ribs, crushed skulls, yet no external wounds. One was missing her tongue, another her eyes. These details would fuel decades of speculation.
When the investigation closed, the Soviet authorities offered only a vague explanation. The hikers had died due to an unknown compelling force. It was a phrase that answered nothing and invited endless questions.
Some claimed an avalanche had forced them from their tent. Others suggested hypothermia led to disorientation and fatal mistakes. There were even theories of wild animal attacks. Yet none could fully explain the strange injuries or why the hikers abandoned their camp in such haste.
Whispers grew of secret Soviet military experiments in the area, tests of weapons, radiation, or parachute mines. Some bodies bore traces of radiation, fueling suspicion that the hikers had stumbled into something forbidden.
For others, the explanation lay beyond the ordinary. Tales of UFOs, glowing lights in the sky, and supernatural forces circulated. While many dismissed these as fantasy, they lingered, woven into the legend of the past.
Over time, the Dyatlov Pass Incident became more than just an unsolved case. Books, films, and documentaries revisited the tragedy, each offering theories but never answers. The site itself became a place of pilgrimage for those drawn to the unknown. To this day, no single theory has provided closure. The fate of those 9 hikers remains a haunting reminder of how little we truly understand about nature, and perhaps about forces beyond it. The Dyatlov Pass still whispers its unanswered questions into the frozen winds.